I love what I do. I'm happy to play here, and that hunger won't subside. It'll be maintained because I just love playing.
Hey everyone, before we get started, just a quick reminder. If you enjoyed deep, reported Red Sox coverage like this, please hit that subscribe button. We're working toward a major milestone, and your support truly helps make long-form reporting like this possible. Now let's talk about something that, even a few months ago, would have sounded completely unthinkable. Because right now, quietly, behind closed doors, the Boston Red Sox are navigating one of the most delicate and potentially franchise-defining questions of this entire offseason. What do you do when the rest of Major League Baseball starts calling about one of your most important young pitchers? Not a declining veteran. Not a salary dump. Not a depth arm. But a 26-year-old, durable, controllable starting pitcher who has already proven he can handle a full Major League workload. That pitcher is Brayan Bello. And while the Red Sox are not actively shopping him, according to confirmed reporting from The Athletic's Will Salmon and Ken Rosenthal, they have listened to trade inquiries involving Bello this offseason. That single word, listened, carries far more weight than it might seem at first glance. Because teams do not casually inquire about pitchers like Bello unless they believe something might be possible. And organizations do not listen unless they believe the return could fundamentally change their future. This is not rumor mill nonsense. This is not clickbait speculation. This is how front offices operate when leverage, valuation, and long-term planning collide. To understand why this conversation even exists, you have to understand what Brayan Bello represents in today's Major League Baseball environment. Over the last 3 seasons, Bello has thrown more than 157 innings each year. In an era where pitchers are increasingly managed, protected, and often broken down before reaching arbitration, that level of durability has become incredibly rare. In fact, durability may now be the most undervalued elite trait in baseball. Velocity comes and goes. Spin rates fluctuate. But the ability to take the ball every 5th day, navigate lineups multiple times, and consistently get through 6 or 7 innings, that's becoming a disappearing skill. And Bello has done it quietly, without fanfare, without national headlines, while continuing to refine his craft. From an organizational standpoint, this matters enormously. Boston is not overflowing with proven, durable starters. They are still building that foundation. Bello is not just a rotation piece. He is a stabilizer. He absorbs innings. He protects the bullpen. He creates predictability in a sport increasingly defined by chaos. That is why league executives value him so highly. And it is why this offseason conversation is so dangerous. Because the moment you start discussing pitchers like Bello, you are no longer talking about marginal upgrades. You are talking about philosophy. Are the Red Sox willing to trade certainty for upside? Are they willing to sacrifice stability to chase impact? Are they confident enough in their internal pitching pipeline to even entertain this? Those are massive questions. Now let's talk about where this all escalated. Recently, NBC Sports San Diego published a hypothetical trade proposal involving the San Diego Padres, a team that is aggressively searching for reliable starting pitching. The Padres are desperate for rotation stability. Their window is tight, their payroll is heavy, and they need arms they can trust. In that proposed scenario, the Padres would receive Brayan Bello and outfield prospect Nelly Taylor. The Red Sox would receive Jake Cronenworth and veteran reliever Wandy Peralta. At first glance, some fans saw this as interesting. But once you actually break it down, the flaws become overwhelming. From San Diego's perspective, this trade makes almost perfect sense. They acquire a young, controllable starter who immediately slots into their rotation and provides exactly what they lack: innings, consistency, and long-term value. Bello would likely become one of their most important pitchers almost overnight. They also pick up Nelly Taylor, a legitimate athletic prospect with upside, giving them future value at a low cost. Boston would not. San Diego would be thrilled. Jake Cronenworth is a solid major league player. He is versatile. He has made all-star teams. He can move around the infield. But over the last 3 seasons, his offensive profile has trended downward. In 2 of those seasons, he posted a below-average OPS plus. That's not what Boston is hunting. The Red Sox are not looking for solid. They are not looking for versatility alone. They are looking for difference makers. Cronenworth does not elevate Boston's lineup. He does not transform their offense. he does not justify giving up a pitcher like Bello. Wandy Peralta, meanwhile, is a veteran reliever, useful, experienced, but replaceable. Boston has repeatedly shown that it can build bullpens without sacrificing premium assets. Relievers do not justify trading core rotation pieces. And then there's Nelly Taylor. This is where the proposal truly collapses. Taylor is not excess. He is not filler. He is a legitimate prospect whom Red Sox evaluators have tracked closely for years. Even if he never reaches his full ceiling, his long-term value far outweighs what Peralta brings to the table. So why would Boston include him? They wouldn't. Which is why this hypothetical deal, while useful for conversation, highlights a larger truth. The bar to trade Brayan Bello is extraordinarily high. And that bar has not been met. Now, zoom out for a moment. Boston's offseason priorities have been clear. They want impact, they want offense, they want players who shift the competitive balance of the roster. That's why names like Alex Bregman, Ketel Marte, and Brendan Donovan continue to surface. These are not filler players, these are lineup shapers. And importantly, Boston is not chasing these players because of positional desperation. They are chasing them because they want elite production. With Marcelo Mayer capable of handling both second and third base, the Red Sox have flexibility. They are not locked into a single solution. That allows them to be patient and selective. Which brings us back to Bello. If Boston were to trade him, the return would need to reflect his true value, not just as a pitcher, but as a foundational asset. That means a legitimate middle-of-the-order bat in his prime, or multiple elite, near MLB-ready players, or a franchise-altering piece that reshapes the competitive timeline. Anything less is a non-starter. This is why the Red Sox listening to calls is not a sign of weakness, it's a sign of confidence. They are gathering information. They are testing how aggressive other teams are willing to be. And so far, those teams have not come close. Now let's address the underlying fear many fans have. If Boston eventually trades Bello, does that signal a teardown? The answer is no, but it would signal a shift. It would mean the front office believes it can replace Bello's production internally or through alternative means. It would mean they believe the offensive upgrade they receive outweighs the pitching stability they lose. That is a dangerous calculation. Because pitching stability is the hardest thing to replace in baseball. Free agency is unpredictable. Prospects are volatile. Health is never guaranteed. Bello provides certainty, and certainty has enormous value. Which is why, at this moment, the most likely outcome remains unchanged. Brayan Bello stays in Boston. But this conversation is far from over. As the offseason progresses, as free agents sign, as teams miss out on their preferred targets, desperation increases. Offers change, values shift. A team that is quiet today may become aggressive tomorrow. And Boston will continue to listen, not because they want to move Bello, but because they want to understand the market. That's how smart organizations operate. So now, Red Sox Nation, the conversation turns to you. Is Brayan Bello untouchable? Or is there a real deal that would make you reconsider? Drop your thoughts in the comments. This is one of the most important debates of the offseason. If you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications. We're covering every major development, every serious rumor, and every strategic move as this offseason unfolds. Because when decisions like this are on the table, nothing is small and everything matters.